Welcome to a month of setting the foundation of love. As the chapters of 2024 unfold, from leveling up in January, mental health topics in February, to empowering women in March, April stands out as a beacon of hope. This month, we're taking it back to what it truly means to love and be loved. The kind that grows, learns, and thrives over time, leading to an understanding of our own flaws and mistakes to become better versions of ourselves. Thus, setting the foundation of love. Every Friday at 3 p.m.
My happily ever after never happened to me, but I expected in the marriage, because I didn't get the support that I normally saw, like especially from coming from my family, because I come from a family of marriage. My mother who's married to my father, so everything went well at my place. I expected the very same thing when I got married, that everything there'll be support, there'll be love, there'll be encouragement, there'll be a leader, because I saw my father leading us as a family.
We are women. It means that we are brave, strong, capable, unique. We are woman to woman.
Good afternoon, South Africa. Welcome to Woman, and we carry on speaking a little bit about love life, and of course, from all angles. You know that we are never going to speak about only with one opinion. So today we bring to you another version. Do you really think, or do you really believe that in every situation, happily ever married will be the case? Not really. So today we are going to explore a little bit of depression, because believe me, one of the reasons that we see depression on the rise in our society, it's directly related to love life, to family. So we are going to embark in this journey, bringing you understanding and of course helping you to identify if that is your case, knowing that always by the end there is a way out. Good afternoon, Silmara, joining us today, because Love Life is Silmara and Pastor Vladimir.
Good afternoon, everyone. It was a blessing to be here once more, and I'm waiting to hear one more story from our friends here, and I'm sure you will learn a lot as we are going to learn together in this journey.
Silmara, how often do we get cases of people who is deeply sad because their love life is not working, or they are filing for divorce, and it ends up in depression?
It's too often that many people, they conceal it. They don't even share because they are afraid of what people is going to judge them, or if they are going to be misinterpreted. But problems in the love life are there to be resolved and to be speak out, so that we can find the right tool to solve that situation. So if you have this situation now that you are seeing yourself going into depression, you should not just wait, but seek for help and look for the story of today that will help you a lot.
You know what? I feel that when people is in church environment, it's even more difficult, because you spoke about being judged. So there is that idea in the back of their minds that because we are in church, we are perfect, nothing bad will happen, that things will not go wrong. And this is why people decide to keep quiet without seeking for help. But we aim today to change that perception. And this is why we welcome to the show Philile. Welcome, Philile.
Thank you, Miss Marsha. My happily ever after never happened to me, what I expected in the marriage, because I didn't get the support that I normally saw, like especially from coming from my family, because I come from a family of marriage. My mother who's married to my father, so everything went well at my place. I expected the very same thing when I got married, that everything there'll be support, there'll be love, there'll be encouragement, there'll be a leader, because I saw my father leading us as a family, providing for us. So I expected that in my marriage, but it never happened. Things were very different. Although I didn't see any problem at the beginning, I didn't I didn't see the lack of support, because I'm a person who always covered things up. I used to cover things up.
Exactly what we were talking about.
Yes.
But by then you were not in the church as yet.
No, when I met my husband, he was the one who was in the church before me. So when we got married, we were now in the church. I joined him in the church, although I never committed myself fully in the church. I was just there in the church.
Just to accompany him?
Yes, not committed, learning the things of the church, but I never gave my all in knowing God, in knowing the church. I was just there in the church. I was just a church goer. I was one of the members.
What did you experience in your marriage? Of course, look at the frustration, because she came from a family that was well established, that the father and the mother would do well together. So that comes from that principle that once you marry, you're going to marry forever and you're going to be happy.
Yes.
You got married and all of a sudden you realized it was not the case. What were the first things that happened that frustrated you with your relationship?
You remember when you get married, you're still in the honeymoon phase. So most of the things, even if there can be lack of support towards you, you don't see, and you are in denial. Even if your family can point out. Remember, your friends and your family, they know you better before getting married. So even they'll ask you like, why aren't you dreaming anymore? Why aren't you pursuing anything? But you'll be covering up, and you think like they don't know what they're talking about. Like, what I know about marriage, I know about love. If you're in forever. Even if the things can not go in your way, but you'll be there. As a woman, you need to be there fully. Even at times we think that when you are married, you need to forget about your dreams. It's like pursuing. You need to support this person. Your husband is your everything, your focus, your everything. You don't think of, and at times we make a mistake, even with God. We think like, if my husband believes, or even he believes more, like I'm just there as a support. But you forget that God, it is individual, the salvation, it is individual. I was never supported like what you want as a woman, like my wife, what you want, what are your dreams, what are you planning in your life, where do you need support, what are your plans for the future, or in what we have, can we separate this for me or for the business or this, and this for you? It was never the case,
So he would just think about his own decisions without including you.
He was so strong in his opinion. Like if he wants like a car, he'll talk about the car in the morning. He'll talk about the car during the day. He'll talk about it in the evening. Even when we're sleeping, like he'll say, if I can just cover this car. If I can cover this car, then because I want to have peace and to be able to sleep, then I'll consider to say, okay, well, how can I help? Because if this can be resolved, then we will move to a next point.
I think it's because when we get married as a single lady, you have a dream, a red planet dream for your life. You imagine it. The women in the church normally, and the girls, they imagine, my husband will treat me like this. They sing movies, they sing many things. Yes, and when they get married, then you come to the reality. Your husband would be the one not to share with you what he wanted to do, but just say, I'm going to do this.
Yes.
And that was difficult.
Yes, and in the beginning, remember, it's not difficult. You remember you're in love. Like now, you don't see it's difficult. You're thinking, okay, it's the way to go. It's the way to go. And you don't think, okay, if we're doing this year and we're doing this in 2 years' time, you don't count to say, in 7 years, where will I be with this? You think, as soon as we cover the car, then we'll be okay. As soon as he gets this project, if this project can going, then he'll support the family. He will be, with the dreams, then we'll follow as a family. Because you're thinking as a leader, then if he's covered, then, everyone will be covered automatically. But normally it's not the case.
So you said that people who knew you before saw a change in your nature.
Yes.
What kind of change did you experience?
Because I'm a talkative person and I'm an outgoing person and I love things. Remember, I was working as a massage therapist.
Oh.
So I know.
So you had a job before.
Yes,
you had a profession.
Yes.
Did you stop your profession for the sake of marriage?
Yes, there were times when I saw that, okay, for us to have peace, if I'm at home, because you remember when you're working, there are times when you're coming late. Like now, sometimes a person doesn't eat like now because you came late.
Mm-hmm.
So now
So you
see-
decided to quit your job.
Yeah, when the business didn't go right at work, then I didn't pursue other jobs, because it was for more of a peace sake.
And you were outgoing, you were talkative, and all of a sudden?
All of a sudden, I just withdraw. Like I'll be in my sleepwear even during the day, because where I stayed, we stayed there like more than 10 years. But people in our neighborhood, they didn't know me.
So when your family would tell you something is strange, you are changing, how would you take it?
Hey, I was very much in denial, because my mother used to tell me like, "Hi, what's happening with you?" Even when I was working, she would ask me, "Aren't you buying clothes anymore? Don't you see clothes? Like you'll be like you are forever in like like one trouser,
So
But-
even the money that you would make and the money that he would bring to the house, you would not have the opportunity to care for yourself.
No. Because remember, it was also little. What also I was bringing was little. So as a woman, you want to cover, like the basics. You want to cover basics. But most of the time, you tend to forget about yourself. By that time, we had 2 children. But by that time, it was only my daughter. So everything was about him and my daughter at that time.
And that brought
it will
to
be my
you
focus.
sadness.
Yes, but remember also in that time, although you're going through this, but you don't accept that you are sad because of certain things. You want to cover up everything. You are in denial. Mm-hmm. You remember when you're not taking care of yourself, you don't even see. Like remember when you are in that situation, we normally say when it's cold, you'll wear like summer things. When it's cold, then you want to wear something that it's not, you mix even the seasons. Mm-hmm. Everything gets mixed up in you.
And in that beginning, you didn't see yourself sad, but the reality was that you were becoming sadder and sadder day after day.
Yes, because you know.
Frustrated.
Yes, you are frustrated. And remember, like now, it's like you are being manipulated, but you don't see it at the time. You see? Like bit by bit, you are also
How
withdrawn.
were you manipulated?
Because if somebody keeps on like talking about themselves, what they want for themselves, it's like like even if you want to age in, like but at this age you still want to age in. Don't you like you must grow, like even the things that you like, what you want to get these things for?
So in other words, everything that you would try to do or be yourself,
Yes.
you were not complimented by him. On the opposite, there was always a remark.
Yes. I remember one time we were preparing to go to church. I wanted to wear something light, like at the bottom, with a powder blue jacket mixed with white. And he came out and said, "Are you going to July handicap? Why are you so dressed up?" Then I had to go back to the house and to change. But that time when I changed the clothes which I changed to, it's like I'm dragging myself to where we were going.
Would you ask for help in the church for someone? Would you talk to someone in the church?
I never talked to anyone in church, because I remember the other time when the church was out, I was like standing with another woman, like just sharing to women, like talking in general. He said to me, I don't like you when the church comes out, then like you'll be speaking to other women, like to other people, like what are you discussing?
So you felt a bit suffocated in this marriage?
Yes.
Would you talk to your mom?
Not really. When I talked to my mom, it was just general. I wouldn't discuss anything like about the marriage. It will be just general, because at my place, my parents' place, they like shopping, they like to host, to be just about that.
So at a certain stage, you realized your marriage was not working, but also you didn't feel comfortable to talk to anyone. Did you carry any feeling of embarrassment or shame? Because at the end of the day, your parents had a very good marriage and yours was not working. What was your feeling towards that situation?
Okay, at that moment, it's like what they already told me to say, because they used to ask me, like, where do you think this is going? But don't you see, like, you're supposed to be here by now? Like, for how many years you've been together? What have you, like, accomplished as, like, together? But because I didn't want them to engage in that topic, because I felt like judged, So I would avoid those topics by all means.
But they would see that things were not working.
They were seeing, I think from the beginning, because my father, even before he passed on, he asked me, like, if I'm leaving you in this situation, but how are you going to carry on? I'm just worried about you.
And that was the reason that you felt into depression.
Yes.
So now we are going to watch the first signs for someone who might be facing depression. Who knows? You are going to pinpoint something in you or in someone close to you, like her parents. They would see her condition, they knew something was wrong, but she did not speak about that. She did not reach out for help. Before you find yourself in the same situation, we are here for you, but to check on the early signs of depression.
After the break. Sadness after sadness after sadness has added up to depression. Statistics of depression in the world approximate 280 million people have depression. Depression is about 50% more common among women than among men. Depression is a complex and serious medical illness that negatively affects how you feel, the way you think, and how you act. Depression causes feelings of sadness and/or loss of interest in activities you once enjoyed. It can lead to a variety of emotional and physical problems and can decrease your ability to function at work and at home. Now let us explore some of the signs and symptoms of depression. Number 1, feeling sad or having depressed mood. Number 2, loss of interest or pleasure in activities once enjoyed. Number 3, changes in appetite, weight loss or weight gain unrelated to dieting. Number 4, trouble sleeping or sleeping too much. Number 5, loss of energy or increased fatigue. Number 6, feeling worthless or guilty. Number 7, difficulty thinking, concentrating, or making decisions. Number 8, thoughts of death or suicide. Before these symptoms persist for weeks or months and are bad enough to interfere with your work, social life, and family life, it is a sure sign that it is time to get help.
So this is what you were facing.
Yes.
You found yourself in depression, but you actually did not know it was depression. You would be in denial.
Yes.
What were the characteristics? How would you behave? How would you feel?
The way I would behave and the way I would feel, I would just cut myself out of the, out of the outside world, with no participation in anything that is being done, like in other families or going out, even like checking like what's currently like the studies, I didn't check anything. Of the things that I wanted, I didn't check anything. I'll be just reserved and waiting for things to happen while I'm not doing anything.
By then, did you have a child already?
Yes, by that time when I was like now depressed, I had my second child.
And how they would interact with you? They would see that something was going on?
I guess because they were young, they wouldn't understand. They would just think like my mom is just at home,
And you would be at home, in your room, in your pajamas the whole day?
Yeah, most of the time. At times, like my daughter will, like when it comes to weekend, when they're not at school, like they'll just go to my parents' place. Because they are activities, there'll be activities every time, They're going out, because things were not stopping that side. It was only here when they are just there.
How would you feel? For instance, in the morning, I have to wake up, I have to dress up, I have to go to my job or not go to my job. Was that easy for you?
It was not easy because like now you just cut everything. Like you don't have dreams, you don't have a plan for the day. You don't plan to say, okay, at 12 I'll be watching this, at 1, You don't have a plan. You just wake up and just do the little that you can. And remember, like, the finances are not going well. Like, you can't even afford the electricity
You
by that time.
also had
Yes.
financial problems.
Yes. By that time, you just want to be in bed because you need to get warm, but you don't afford the electricity. So by that time, because when you are depressed, even the coldness becomes even double. What you are facing becomes double because you're not thinking, like, of making means.
Would you think about dying?
I think in a way when I'm looking at people who are depressed, because if you're not dreaming, if you just there, like I think, although you're not having those thoughts, like the suicidal thoughts, but many things could have happened to me. Because if you're not dreaming anymore, your heart can just stop while you never even attempt anything.
And interesting to mention, you were in the church.
Yes, because everything is just low.
Would you be able to come to church?
But only on Sundays. During the week, I wouldn't think of coming by that time.
And you would come because it was more or less like an obligation to accompany your husband?
Yes, like just going to church because for peace sake, because we all went to church and just came back.
What would your husband tell you during those days? Because now we know you were in depression. How did he take it? He would accept, he would judge you, he would say, no, you are faking this, you are not sad. Why are you sad? What were his statements or behaviors during those days?
No, I remember when I was supposed to be with my son during the day. There will be time when he won't be comfortable. Say, hey, I'm not comfortable, like with leaving you like this, like with the child. I think it's better we go to your parents' place. Although he'll never say the word like you are depressed or say, hey, or he'll just mention that, hey, I don't trust like what will happen like when you are alone. That means there were signs that he saw.
Did he try to help you somehow?
I don't remember trying to help.
He never spoke about that condition. He never asked you why you gave up life.
No. I don't remember him asking why did I give up life.
And he would not even involve church volunteers to help you?
No. I remember when I was in church, the other day I was with my son. It was after church. There was a meeting, a group meeting. Then I tried to attend that meeting. I went to that meeting with after he came to me to ask, do you even understand like what is the meeting for? Are you sure about this? It's like I was not good enough even for those meetings, to attend. Because remember, people they start about like with soul winners, but I started with Caleb.
Caleb.
Yes.
Actually, we're looking for something that would give you motivation. It does not really matter if it was the right group. You needed help.
Because in that group, when I attended those meetings, it was not about who's doing what, who's wearing what. It was like women coming together, like older people coming to pray. Even there were times like they were praying for their children, for their grandchildren, But it was a comforting group,
And how did your marriage end?
Okay. When it ended, he just said, okay, it's me.
After how many years?
We were together for 14 years.
14 years.
Yes.
Out of these 14 years, before you tell us how the end came about, if you look into 14 years, how many years of those 14 can you say, I was happy?
I guess the first 5 years.
The first 5 years you were happy?
Yes.
Even though you
though
didn't have opportunity, even though you didn't have choices.
Yes. Because with the first 5 years, it is still honeymoon phases, and you are young. You don't even know what it's supposed to be. How it's supposed to be. Whatever that you are being told, you think it's okay. It's okay, and you are most of the time you are just in denial. You think that things will work out, will be okay, but you're not putting efforts. You're not asking for help. You're not asking for guidance.
So during these 5 years that you were happy, it was more like because you would end up accepting everything he would propose.
Yes.
You didn't have plans of yourself, and you just understood by then that your role as a wife was to follow his lead.
Yes.
So if he decided like this, it's okay. If he decided like that, it was okay. If he didn't think about you in that occasion, it was okay. That's why there was that apparent happiness.
And remember also, he to me, he was spiritually mature. You know, he was perfect as a man because he's coming from church. He's a man who goes to church. Everything, like there was no way that he could be wrong in everything that he says, because he knows the Bible more than me, because he knows the Bible from page to page. So how do I argue? What scripture am I going to quote?
In these 5 years, like by the end, did you have ever come to the moment and say, husband, let us sit down, something is not going on right here, I'm not happy with him? When did you see like the heart love just breaking down, everything is like it's not working well?
That's why I'm saying that denial is so dangerous, because even when you're still going through those things, but at the back of your mind, you are in denial because you're also looking at other signs like he's doing, you know, like if they take away, he'll bring. But though in the house, there's nothing. But you're in denial, you know. You don't even see that you're going down. Now and then you're going down. You're thinking that, okay, one day you have that hope to say, one day we'll just rise. One day we'll wake up and everything will be well. You don't see that you're hitting the bottom.
So you would imagine one day I'm going to wake up and everything will be changed without doing anything. How perfect
Without
it
working
could be.
in.
Yes, because that's why they're saying that the denial is so dangerous. It's more than like the depression. Because even if somebody talks back to you, you're thinking it's my fault. Maybe if I was going to be like this, even people will cling to, you know, will have those comments to say, you know, if I were to date an assistant, you know, the assistants are perfect. But you don't think, this is my husband who's speaking like this. But he's not saying, okay, and don't you think one day you'll be an assistant? Can I bring you a book from church? You know, women from our church, they're reading this. Are you aware that there's like love therapy? Let's go to love therapy.
So you never attended to the love therapy?
I think we did, like, you know, not many times, you know, like, by the time when I was thinking like things are going right, like now, it's when like now, okay, I heard the like about God, you know, I was like now like loving God, like it's where instead of things coming together, it's where things, you know, they just broke. When like now I was taking a step for myself to know towards the things of God. Instead of me, the things coming right, it's where things slept.
It was when he came and said he wanted out.
Yes.
How did it happen?
No, it was, okay, he started like in December to show me the signs, because maybe he saw that this woman is not seeing that, you know, I'm not in anymore. So now he had to act, you know, to show me that, you know, it started like in December. It was on the 25th, because normally we'll join our parents like at the park, you know, after church. But on that day, he said, no, we used to attend the church service on Christmas days. On that day, he said, no, why are you preparing? Who said you're going to church? We're not going to church, and I'm not going to church. He went to see a client. Then when he came back, he said, okay, let me take you to the park. I said, no, I'll go on my own. He said, no, why you want me, your family to look me at a bad person? But although in that moment, he knew that, you know, he was no longer there, because there was a way that he was looking at my mother, as if he is asking, do you see what I'm about to do? Because he kept on looking at her, kept on like, you know, as he was preparing himself to leave, he said, no, this time I'm joining my family. So he left us there. And later, okay, I went back to the house on my own with the baby, because my son was still small. Then he never came back on that day. He said, okay.
Christmas Day?
Yes, he said he's going to his family. Yes. Then I saw that, oh no, things are not coming right. Because when he came back, he said to me, okay, I didn't know that you were here, but I'm just passing here by the house, because there's a guy that I need to meet with for the car. Okay, I said, I know, but somehow in me, instead of me being sad or, like fighting, it's like, I even said to him, I even handshaking to say, no, I think you're taking a right route. I don't know why in me, but instead of me being sad
He
or
did
fighting.
not tell as yet he
Yes.
was
About
leaving.
yes.
But you, for some reason, you just told him you're making the right choice.
Somehow, I don't know why did I even say that. Like, I believe when two people decide to come together, they are really together for real. Because if one part is not doing something right, somewhere in you, like there'll be that disconnection. Mm-hmm. So when people come together for real, I know that there is a connection for real.
And you had already disconnected completely?
Yes, because instead of me fighting him, like I could feel like he's drifting away. Like from inside, I could feel like there's a drift, Bit by bit, we growing apart.
When did he break the news that you two getting a divorce?
In Jan. Okay, now he was like showing the signs like now. Like now I don't want to be in this place because this is not my place. So I'm looking for a place. Then I thought maybe he's moving out of this place because this is not his place. It is my place and it is my parents' place. So I thought maybe he wants a place for ourselves. Then he said no, he's going to his cousin. He wants a room. Then I was thinking, okay, maybe he wants us to restart, Little did I know. Then I went to church in Jan to say I saw that now we're drifting apart. No, he's not coming back. But also we're not fighting that moment. Then I spoke to the pastor, the pastor who I got in the church. He said, no, go and apologize to your husband. When you apologize, then you know where the ball is, who's carrying the ball. Then I went to him to say, okay, can we please talk? He said, no, I'm in a hurry because he used to come in the morning to change. Like I'll iron the clothes, I'll prepare. Like now I'll even go, beyond even the things that I used to do. Because I wanted peace, by all angles. I had to separate everything so that when he comes, everything is there. So in that moment, okay, when I spoke to him to say, I apologize, can we talk? Is there anything that I'm doing wrong? Do you want us to discuss? Do you want us to solve anything? He said, if only you knew. You don't even know what you're apologizing for. If only you knew like my thoughts like now. Then I said, okay, my apologies. Then he never said anything. Then the pastor suggested that I see the married pastor. Then I saw the pastor at the time to say, hey, I can't even pray because by that time I decided to get baptized in water because I also wanted to do to say, what's wrong with me? If he's not coming back, then what's wrong with me? Because I have my old parts also. I can also go out, there's nothing wrong with me. But in that moment, I also decided to say, no, I don't think, I don't even know where to start. Then I decided on the Sunday to get baptized in water. To say, I don't want to do my will. Although I wanted to do my will, but I don't know, with God's mercy, there was a voice to say, I can't do my will. So I decided to get myself in baptism with water. Then we were given a chance to say, all those who baptize in water on that Sunday, they can make appointments during the week with the pastor. So it's the way I broke the news to the pastor to say, Ish, my love life is not going right now. I can't even pray. And the pastor said, when your love life is not going right, you can't even pray at the moment. Because when you're not well, I understand now, when you're not well in your marriage, you cannot be well with God. So then he was given a chance to come in to say his side. Then he spoke with the things that he was not comfortable with, that I'm spending too much time at my parents' place, even finances, When I have finances, I'm helping too much at my parents' place. Then he spoke, and we were given to say, you want to fix your marriage? Then he said, no, he doesn't want to fix. Then he's leaving.
That was the moment that you realized he was leaving for good.
Yes. Then when after that meeting, we went separate ways, and he was also advised to say, okay, if you leaving, then you just give it a day. Then you come and take your stuff, your belongings. Then the next day he came, because we never fought physical or harsh ways,
So during these 14 years, even though you were not happy, and it seems he was not happy as well,
Okay.
you never argued, you never fought, you never disagreed, there was no violence.
There was no violence at all. Because even my daughter, like, there was a struggle even to tell her what's going on, because she never saw us like arguing or anything.
So we could understand that maybe there was a lot of confusion, disagreement, arguments, but that was not the case.
No, that was not the case.
So there was a silent pain that you were carrying for all these years,
Yes.
the frustration.
Yes.
Did you blame yourself for what happened?
Yes, I did blame myself for what happened, because I thought if I put God as a priority, like if I didn't mix my priorities, things were going to work out well.
Did you blame him?
No, I never blamed him.
So you blamed yourself for what
Yes.
happened, but not him.
No, I never blamed him.
And you were separated.
Yes.
But you were still depressed.
You know, like the depression, like it's after the divorce, it's like when like my life is like I was breathing like now, because everything like, you know, like it was lifted off my shoulders.
We are going to find out how she managed to overcome depression just after this insert that I want you to pay attention to. Because during these 14 years, she was caring for the husband, caring for the kids, but she never cared for herself. So how do you care for yourself while you're caring for others?
You never think about others. It's always about you. You're so selfish. Caring for yourself does not mean you're selfish. In fact, it's key in being able to care for others. As important as it may be to care for those around you, you need to remember to care for yourself. So here are some ways you can tend to your own well-being while caring for others. 1. Start with self-care. We can't share with others a resource that we lack ourselves, so we need to follow up with a plan. Begin by keeping your normal routine as much as possible. 2. Don't be afraid to say no. Take time for yourself when you need it. 3. Be honest with yourself and those around you. Do your best not to overcommit to tasks. 4. Don't delay your own care. Take a moment to yourself by going on a walk or enjoying a coffee while catching up on the news. 5. Build a team. Find people in your life who you know you can count on, who you will be able to reach out to when you need a break or need a helping hand. To conclude, you will be maintaining a healthy relationship with yourself so that you can transmit the good feelings to others.
That was what was happening with you. You were caring for others, but at a certain stage you couldn't even care for your children. You had to send them to your mother's place so that they would have some joy. And you completely neglected yourself. And that led you to divorce. How did you overcome depression?
I overcame depression by giving my life to God. It's how I overcame depression, because like now with God, like, you know, he gives you pleasure, and you are able to focus on yourself. While you're helping others, you are able to also take care of yourself. Because, you know, with God is a fair God, you know. He'll guide you, like, even if you are alone in the house, but you have his guidance. Because you are able to read the word, you are able to pray, you are able, even with the gospel music that you're hearing, then you are able to get the encouragement.
You were not doing these things before?
No, I was not doing, for real.
When you saw yourself, now I'm divorced, I have 2 kids, I need to rebuild my life, I need to have plans again. What were your first steps toward it?
The first step, it was like to give my life to God 100%.
Because until then, it was not 100%.
Yes, it was not 100%. I will just be in church. I will just, you know, like I made God so little in my life. I limited God so much in my life.
So your story is so different, Miss Marcia, because normally the women come...
It is the other angle.
Yes, because the women come to the church inviting a person that they are interested in to come along with them and they already have a life with God, trying to win the soul of that person to God. But now you had the other way around. You came because of your husband,
Yes.
and now he left, and you had to stand by yourself, alone.
Yes.
And then you saw yourself now, what I'm going to do. So the first step was to give your life to God. In which way?
Okay. When I gave my life to God, because I first had to surrender my will, to say, dear God, I am giving you my life. And also I surrender my will, because my will, I've been doing my will for so long, but it never helped me with anything, you know. So with my will, I never benefited anything. It never blossomed anything. But when I gave my life to God, God is a fair God. Like when you give your life to Him, in exchange, He'll help you. He'll give you your life. He'll give you life, because He'll give you like guidance to say, my child, I'm with you. Even if you can be alone in the situation, but you're really not alone. In that time, you're not searching to be like in your parents' place or like following other women. Instead, the women will come to you because seeing your life.
So you had to forgive.
Yes.
Someone.
Yes.
Who was the person that you had to forgive?
Firstly, I had to forgive myself, and I had to forgive my mother, because also instead of blaming my husband, I also blamed my mother. Because while I was depressed, while I was married, like my focus was I was helping her, and you know, with their chores, everything that they wanted, like my time, because I used to divide myself. You know, I wanted to help my husband, I wanted to help them, but in that case, I thought, why didn't she sit me down to say, no, like we don't need help, this much help from you, like can you focus on yourself, you know.
So you had to forgive her for that?
Yes, I had to forgive her for that. Although I never spoke to her to say, you know, I felt like
you had that feeling inside.
Yes, I had that feeling inside, you know, to say.
Is it wrong to say that during all these years of marriage,
Yes.
your relationship with God was through your husband?
Yes, yes, yes.
You never had a direct relationship with God. Yes. You would do what your husband would tell you to do.
Yes, yes, yes.
You would come to church because he would say.
Yes.
But you didn't have that relationship with God.
Yes.
When you were alone, now you had to pick up the pieces.
Yes, because when I was with him, I was coming from a different church. So, like, coming with him to church, it was like, oh, now I have to do, like, things in a different way. It's like, but I didn't think like, okay, I'm coming to God. I took it as if I'm coming from one church to another church. Yes, but I didn't take that I came to God. He's God's altar. You know, I can surrender everything, and to put my will on the altar. I didn't understand.
So now you surrendered your life to God.
Yes, yes.
And you started dreaming again.
Yes.
Were you able to find a job, to go back to your profession? How is your life today?
My life today, I didn't think of getting a job, because with the job, I knew that I was going to be limited. I don't want to be limited. I started my business, and when with other visions that I had, like they started coming back like to me like now. It's like I was breathing like again, I was becoming alive again.
So from someone who was fully dependent on the husband, financially, opinion, choices, now the mind changed in a way that not only looking for a job, you invested in your own business. You started believing in yourself again.
Yes, yes.
So are you blessed today?
Yes, I am blessed today.
So tell us a little bit, how's your life today, your kids?
Okay, I am blessed today because I can make my own decision with finances, with my spirituality, like when do I need to pray, when do I need to attend, and what do I need to want to do for God. No one like is coaching me or pushing me, you know, with everything that I want to do for God or the things that I need to do for God.
Let me just make a disclaimer here. When we talk about marriage and submission, it's not what she was living, because it was not to void yourself completely and live in function of another person. Submission, it starts from having first a relationship with God, and you will submit, you will be a partner in decisions, provided that it does not overlap your relationship with God.
Yes.
Submission was not what she had in mind. When she says today she's able to make her decisions, it is because she found herself, she found her way of life. And before, she void herself completely. She neglected her opinions, her ideas, to live in function of what the husband would say. This is not what God wants. God, when we talk about marriage, it is actually a contract. We have spoken about that in other shows. It is a contract. So both parts, they have liabilities, but also they have rights. And when we only have liabilities, or we claim only to have rights, that's not really marriage according to the definition of God. It might be according to the definition of society, of culture, because a woman never goes back, even though if she's suffering, even though if she is void, she never goes back, but it's not God's definition. Philile, if it was today, with the knowledge and experience, finding yourself in God, what would you have done differently?
What will I be doing differently? I was supposed to put God first as a priority, then my husband, then my children, then my relatives. So
you can say that your husband was ahead of God.
Yes. My priorities were very mixed up. That is the wrong way to go. If your priorities are mixed up, then you never go right. Because you'll serve where you're not supposed to serve. And you'll do more when you're not supposed to do more. And with God, God is a just God. If you put him first, then he rewards you in return. When you give in exchange, there's also the things that he gives. Because he'll give you wisdom, he'll give you guidance, he'll give you support. He'll never, desert you in anything.
So today you have started all over again.
Yes.
You found yourself in the process. And today you are happy because first you have God in your life.
Yes.
Maybe you are in the same situation. You are at the verge of breakdown. Maybe you don't see a way out in your relationship, in your marriage. And of course, today, I'm asking you the same question I did to Philile. What can you do differently? We have the love walk. And believe me, the love walk is not only for those who are dating. When we spoke with her, she never had a conversation with her husband. Maybe she didn't have the space, she didn't have the opportunity. He would not give her that moment. But as the church, we encourage you to participate of the love walk. Because in the love walk, it will be your platform to ask questions and to be heard. That is the main point. There are moments that you don't find the time and the space that you are heard. And maybe there is something you need to speak to your husband, to your wife, or to the person that you aim to live the rest of your life with, so that you are happily married forever, not like her. That's the opportunity. That is our invite for you.
Attention, singles and couples. We have great news for you. On the 20th of April, the Love Walk 2024. In Johannesburg, the Love Walk will be held at the Johannesburg Zoo. But this event will also take place at other venues around the country. For more information, kits and venues, please call our national toll-free helpline on 0800 330 320. The Love Walk.
At times when you are in a relationship, because you're coming from a certain background and this person coming from a different background. They are also going through their pains, but although maybe they are also in denial because it's how they grow up. You expect them to give, but how can you give something that you don't have? How are you going to take care of a wife while you don't have that thing? How are you going to raise your children, even your sons, but you don't have that care? At times we end up like blaming those people, but they are also empty in a way. How can they give? Because they also have their own wounds. And at the end of the marriage, when you're thinking, okay, this didn't work out, but when you're about to exit, you see, oh, I was supposed to pay attention in that point. And you only realize it very late. And remember the person that you also seeing their points, maybe they also don't even notice with them. While you're trying to rebuild yourself, if the other person is also broken, when you need help, like go for both of you, like help, When
That's
you go
very
for
important.
counseling, also engage, like when the signs that you're seeing, also introduce. Although they say, okay, how can we help a person who doesn't need help? But you can also tell to say, okay, I think we're facing this. So that when you're getting help or the advice, you can get as a family to say, let's get this.
So in other words, she's not casting the blame on her ex-husband. And for a long time, she cast the blame on herself. But it's the ability to see the needs of each other, understanding that both come with a very different background and both have challenges and were exposed to different experiences. And now you have to live together. The love walk is for that. It's a preparation, isn't that, Sue?
Yes, because there you have the moment where you are going to come together, you sit down without distractions, because in nowadays, one is working, the other one is coming, kids, and you have that moment where you are going to be together and share your ideas. As a business contract, you don't keep quiet for everything. Yeah. So you sit down, you manage, you see what's going on, what's not going right, and then you solve the problems with the right tools. When there are people, they have this tendency of having the cold silence treatment in marriage. So they don't talk thinking everything will solve by itself.
It was what they were living.
Yeah, both inside of the house, pretending everything is fine, we are family, at the door outside, but inside, things were not right.
But remember also now why people, they don't talk. If you think the other person is more spiritual more than you, like they know the Bible from cover to cover, you think they have everything, they know everything. And if remember that your leader doesn't have help, he's also broken inside. You see, it's where the problem is. So if a leader is broken inside and you're thinking you are being led by this person, you think he knows everything. But the time when you're thinking, like when you see at the end that he's also broken, how can you lead while you're also broken?
That's why we are sharing the therapy of love, Miss Marsha, that we, in marriage, we are two servants and the leader is God. Yeah. So when we put a person, a human being, to that position that only God can occupy, that is the result.
And that was the reason of the breakup.
So, but when you put everything in the right place and the love walk, it's this restart.
It's the beginning.
Yes, you are going to go, maybe you never went and you think, I know this is for young people, it's not for me. No, it's for you who are married for 14 years, for 20 years, or are single, but you need to put your love life in track. Because what people, they don't understand is that when your love life is not well, your spiritual life cannot be well.
The walls of Jerusalem that we spoke about last week.
Now it's time for God's point in this.
Today we are going to read from Isaiah chapter 9 verse 2. It talks exactly about what you saw in the life of Philile. It says like this: the people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. Those who dwelt in the land of the shadow of death, upon them a light has shined. And what was this light? Only God can bring you out of that sorrow, pain, and depression that many people do not understand, that many people cannot make sense, because they may look at you and say, you have everything. You have a husband who provides. You have beautiful children. You have a life. Why are you feeling so sad, so depressed? Why are you so downcast? There is no reason for that. But darkness has been inside of you. And that is consuming your life. It has consumed the life of Philile, so much so that if she had the chance, she would have done things differently. But she only came to that conclusion after receiving the light of putting God first. The light can only come with God in your life. If your priorities are all mixed up and you have been investing so much in your career, in what you can achieve, in what you don't have, because truth is, we focus more on what we don't have rather than looking at what we already have. And that can make you sad. Sadness will lead you to depression. Depression will lead you to a kind of life that you will constantly see yourself in darkness. The light of God is coming upon you. Give Him the chance. Many people, when they go through marriage breakdown or bankruptcy or destruction, they turn away from God. They turn away from that light and they go deeper in darkness. Philile did the right thing. It was the moment that she saw herself alone. She surrendered herself to God. So light came upon her life and she's living out of that light. And now caring for herself first and being able to care for others. That's what God has for you. Not only about love life. Of course, we are focusing more on love life because of the wreck that your love life was. And I should say further, it was the wreck that you were inside, that you could not be the person that you wanted to be. And who knows, maybe having the knowledge you have today, you could have saved your marriage. When you look at it today, you could. But also we have people who need a new start. They have their finances destroyed. They have their self-esteem destroyed. They have their family destroyed. They are in depression. Yes. Can you pray for them to have a new start like you had?
Let's bow our heads down and pray. Dear God, in this moment we surrender because all the women who are suffering out there, my God, and hoping God you will help them with everything that they are facing, whether it can be finances, whether it can be health, whether it can be spiritual life that is not going right. God will intervene in this moment because we surrender them with everything that you are capable of, my God. We surrender them because we know that you are the good God that can be able to change any situation that they are facing. We surrender them in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Be with them now and forevermore in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. So make sure that you seek for the light. And the same God who changed Philile's life when she established her priorities will do the same for you. Next week we're back and we hope to have you here. But don't forget, we also hope to see you in our love walk. Until then, God bless you all. Bye-bye.
Laughter.
And cut. No! There is no cut! Let's go, Nami!
Classical moments.
So I'm not sure if I can answer that or my friends can do.
Humbling.
Totally drift away from my vision, from my purpose. And God was so merciful because He saw my sincerity, though I was drifting away, but He saw my sincerity.
Impactful.
To give of yourself to your child, to listen when they speak, to listen when they are talking to you, not to shut them down, not to shout at them, not to call them names, but your presence will remain with them forever and they will appreciate the teachings that you give to them.
Eye-opening.
But values and principles do not change at all. They stay the same. And once I know that, and once I tell myself that, and I love myself because I'm not going to compromise my salvation for somebody else, then once I love myself in that way, it will be easier for me to love others.
Do you find yourself a gift for you? We are announcing our Woman to Woman playlist on Facebook and YouTube. Watching Made Easy, where you can go back to the shows again and relive those moments. Enjoy.